All right, so after last night's game, I'm going to put this recording over top of the game, the highlights that I put. I didn't really get a lot of the game. I was kind of more doing a lot of it on Twitter. And I honestly thought Judge played really good last night. There were a lot of good things that came out of it. I did do an interview with Coach Connors. Colin McKee, he was fabulous last night. He was one of the biggest reasons why that game was tied for a long time because Lasalle was kind of pressing early in the second, all through that period and a lot of the parts of the third as well. I thought it was a really back and forth game as well. Judge and Lasalle, it was really a tight contest. There wasn't really much given up by both teams. I thought both goalies played good. I did get 2 goals on video. It was Mikey McDevitt when he put Judge up 2-1 with about 3 minutes left. And then I got LaSalle's empty netter. So to go through what actually happened, McDevitt made it 2-1. And at first they gave the goal to Corrado. So on Twitter I put it was Corrado that made it 2-1. And then I asked Coach Connors after, and they said that it was McDevitt. Which I thought it was McDevitt just from the video I had, but I just said Corrado just because that was what the official goal was on the ice. So I figured I would wait after and ask, and then I ended up changing it anyway. So to actually go through what happened in the game, it was 2-1, and then about 30 seconds later, there was a weird turnover in the Judge zone, and I don't know who it was for LaSalle, but he skated in and he beat McKee to the high blocker side, and that was a beautiful shot. And then about 25, 30 seconds later, it went. There was a pass that was going into the slot, went off Judge defenseman's skate, and went right through McKee's legs, and that made it 3-2 LaSalle with about 2 minutes left in the third. That was a real heartbreaker, and that really stunk too, because I personally thought that if that went to overtime, I think Judge would have been able to win. I mean, it was a little different too. I was talking to my dad in the middle of the game, and it was around warm-ups, and he was saying, because LaSalle had a lot of kids. Judge had, I think, around 13 or 14. LaSalle had around 21, 22. So the difference was a lot. They had a lot more kids. They were definitely less tired than Judge. So, I mean, I still think Judge played very good. As I said, a lot of good things that came out of the game. I thought the first line of Werner, Rue, and Ritter was really good. They had a lot of chances. So hopefully Judge can come back next week against Downingtown. It should be a tough one. So hopefully they can come back and get a win. And here is the interview with Coach Connors. All right, so after the first loss of the season, I have a couple questions here for Coach Connors. So, Coach, what was a positive from tonight's game?
We know that we can play with that team. They're a great team. They're always good. We'll face them again further down the season, probably in the Flyers Cup.
And what were a few takeaways from tonight's game?
Well, number one, we got a first goal from our freshman, Mike McDevitt. I thought Colin played excellent in net. Nobody should have lost that game. It was just a tough one to lose.
Who stood out to you tonight?
Say again?
Who stood out to you tonight?
Tonight, I thought, once again, Melso and Colin McKee, they played great. Our first line, Werner, Rue, and Ritter, they played really well also.
What are some keys to get a win next game at Downington?
Downingtown's usually a really good team. We got to stay tough. We got to get tougher along the boards and tougher in front of the net. We lost too many pucks along the boards, and we weren't getting them good opportunities in front of the net.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.